Ever looked at an old tree stump in your backyard and thought, what a waste of space? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. We're about to show you how to turn that eyesore into a jaw-dropping water feature that'll make your neighbors green with envy. In this video, we'll guide you through the incredible transformation of a discarded stump into a stunning fantasy pond. You'll learn how to use simple materials like wire mesh and cement to create a masterpiece that looks like it costs thousands. Get ready to unlock your inner landscaping genius. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this. Our DIY enthusiast, John, is trudging through his backyard, muttering about the unsightly mess. His eyes land on an old tree stump, a reminder of better days when shade and birdsong filled this corner. But wait, what's that? A few feet away, partially hidden by overgrown weeds, lies a stack of discarded concrete bags. John's brain starts whirring. The backyard is, frankly, a disaster. Patchy grass struggles to grow around the weathered stump. Weeds have taken over, creating a jungle-like atmosphere that's more eyesore than oasis. It's the kind of space that makes neighbors whisper and property values drop. But as John surveys this wasteland, an idea begins to form. What if, he thinks, his excitement building, I could turn this stump into a water feature? The concept seems wild, even to him. Transform a solid piece of wood into a functioning pond. Impossible, right? John can almost hear the skeptical laughter of his friends and family. You're going to do what? They'd say, shaking their heads. But the idea won't let go. John starts to envision the process. He'd need to hollow out the stump, somehow make it watertight, and figure out a way to circulate the water. It's a daunting task, especially for someone whose DIY experience doesn't extend much beyond changing light bulbs. Doubt creeps in. How would he even begin to shape the wood? What about leaks? And let's not forget the potential for a mosquito breeding ground if things go wrong. John paces around the stump, his mind a whirlwind of questions and concerns. Yet, as he stands there, something shifts. The challenges start to feel less like roadblocks and more like puzzles waiting to be solved. John realizes that this project, as crazy as it sounds, could be the key to transforming not just the stump, but the entire backyard. With a deep breath, John makes his decision. He's going to do it. He'll turn this sad, forgotten stump into a beautiful water feature. Neighborhood skepticism be damned. It won't be easy, but nothing worth doing ever is, right? Dawn breaks and John's backyard is no longer just a wasteland, it's a construction site. But this isn't your typical home improvement project. How do you build a pond from a tree stump when there's no instruction manual? The solution lies in an unexpected combination of everyday items and a healthy dose of ingenuity. John surveys his eclectic collection of materials. Alongside the discovered concrete bags, he's gathered wire mesh, waterproof sealants, and a variety of tools. Each item seems ordinary on its own, but together they hold the potential for something extraordinary. The first challenge looms large, transforming solid wood into a watertight container. It's no small feat, and John knows he's in for a tough time. He starts by carefully hollowing out the stump, a process that requires patience and precision. With each chunk of wood removed, the stump slowly begins to take on a new form. But hollowing isn't enough. Water retention is crucial for a functioning pond. John applies layers of waterproof sealant to the inner surface of the stump. This creates a barrier that prevents water from seeping into the wood, ensuring the longevity of his creation. And now comes a clever trick that takes the project to the next level. John uses wire mesh to shape the pond structure. He carefully bends and molds the mesh, creating a framework that extends beyond the stump's natural boundaries. This not only adds stability, but also allows for a more intricate and visually appealing design. As John works, the basic form of the pond starts to take shape. The wire mesh creates graceful curves and interesting contours, transforming the once solid stump into something almost unrecognizable. It's a far cry from the eyesore that once dominated the backyard. With the framework in place, John prepares for the next crucial step, adding concrete. He carefully mixes the concrete, paying close attention to the water to cement ratio. This is vital for achieving the right consistency and ensuring the concrete sets properly. As he applies the first layer, John can hardly believe the transformation taking place before his eyes. The basic structure of the pond is now ready for the next phase of construction. What was once a stubborn tree stump has been reborn as the foundation for a beautiful water feature. John steps steps back, admiring his handiwork. There's still a long way to go, but seeing the initial form take shape fills him with a sense of accomplishment and excitement for what's to come. As the sun sets on another day of hard work, John's mind is already racing with ideas for the next steps. How will he create a balanced ecosystem? What plants will thrive in this unique environment? The challenges ahead are many, but John is ready to face them head on. Tomorrow brings new tasks, new problems to solve, and new opportunities to turn his backyard dream into reality. John's unusual backyard project is starting to turn heads, but not always in a good way. As he continues to work on his stump-turned pond, neighbors begin to take notice. Some are intrigued, pausing to watch his progress. Others, however, are less than impressed. "What on earth are you doing?" one neighbor calls out, shaking his head in disbelief. "You're ruining your yard." The growing attention brings unexpected challenges. John finds himself explaining his vision over and over, often to skeptical faces. It's not just the neighbors, even his family starts to question his sanity. "Are you sure about this?" his wife asks, eyeing the mess in the backyard. The constant criticism starts to wear on John's confidence. As the project progresses, unforeseen obstacles pop up like weeds. The concrete doesn't set properly in one section, forcing John to start over. Heavy rain threatens to wash away his work before it's fully cured. Each setback feels like a blow, chipping away at his resolve. There are moments when John seriously considers throwing in the towel. Maybe the neighbors are right. Maybe this is just a crazy idea doomed to fail. But John isn't ready to give up just yet. He decides to tackle each problem methodically. When the concrete fails, he researches better mixing techniques and tries again. To protect against rain, he rigs up a makeshift shelter using tarps and poles. John even starts engaging with his curious neighbors, explaining his vision and asking for their input. Some still think he's nuts, but others begin to show interest. As weeks pass, the pond starts to take a more defined shape. The once unsightly stump is now the centerpiece of an emerging water feature. Curved edges flow gracefully, hinting at the beauty to come. John adds rocks and pebbles around the base, creating a natural-looking transition to the surrounding landscape. The progress doesn't go unnoticed. Even some of the initial skeptics start to change their tune. "You know, it's actually starting to look pretty good," admits one neighbor who had been particularly vocal in his criticism. This shift in opinion gives John a much-needed boost of confidence. With renewed energy, John pushes forward into the final stages of construction. He's still got challenges ahead, figuring out the filtration system, choosing the right plants, and ensuring everything is properly sealed. But now, as he looks at the emerging pond, he can clearly see the potential that once existed only in his imagination. As John prepares for the home stretch, there's a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. Will all his hard work pay off? Can he truly transform this old stump into a backyard oasis? With determination in his eyes and concrete dust on his hands, John is ready to find out. The final test, adding water, is just around the corner. The moment of truth has arrived. John stands nervously beside his creation, garden hose in hand. The neighborhood has gathered, a mix of skeptics and supporters waiting to see if weeks of hard work will pay off or quite literally go down the drain. John takes a deep breath and turns on the water. It trickles into the pond, slowly at first, then steadily. Everyone watches in tense silence as the water level rises. Will it hold? Minutes pass, feeling like hours. Then, amazingly, the water stays put. No leaks, no cracks. John's crazy idea is actually working. With the structure proving watertight, it's time for the finishing touches. John carefully selects native aquatic plants, knowing they'll adapt best to the local climate. Water lilies are added, their pads providing shade and shelter for future fish. Cattails are planted along the edges, ready to filter the water naturally. Beneath the surface, hornwort is introduced to oxygenate the water and keep it clear. Each plant serves a specific purpose in creating a balanced ecosystem. The water lilies aren't just pretty, they help control algae growth by limiting sunlight. Cattails act as natural purifiers, absorbing excess nutrients. The submerged hornwort provides hiding places for small aquatic life and helps maintain water quality. As the plants settle in, John adds the final elements. Flat stones are arranged around the pond's edge, creating natural-looking transitions and safe spots for wildlife to access the water. A small pump is installed, creating a gentle flow that mimics a natural stream and keeps the water fresh. The anticipation builds as John prepares to add the pond's first inhabitants. He's chosen a mix of goldfish and koi, carefully selected for their hardiness and vibrant colors. As the fish are gently released, they dart about, exploring their new home. Their movements bring the pond to life, transforming it from a simple water feature into a living, breathing ecosystem. Stepping back, John can hardly believe the transformation. Where once stood an ugly stump, now sits a stunning water garden. The flowing lines of the pond blend seamlessly with the landscape. Water trickles gently over strategically placed rocks, creating a soothing ambient sound. The surface shimmers in the sunlight, occasionally broken by a fish's fin or a water lily's bloom. The neighborhood is stunned into silence. Even the harshest critics can't deny the beauty of what John has created. "I never thought it would turn out like this," admits one neighbor, shaking his head in amazement. It's like something out of a fantasy garden. As word spreads, John's backyard becomes a local attraction. People stop by to admire the pond, ask for advice, and share in the peaceful atmosphere he's created. What started as a wild idea has blossomed into a source of community pride and inspiration. John's perseverance has not only transformed his backyard, but has sparked a wave of creativity throughout the neighborhood. Who knows what other hidden potential might be lurking in their own backyards? Let's recap the incredible journey we've witnessed. Transforming a tree stump into a stunning pond isn't just about adding water. It's a process that requires vision, persistence, and a bit of ingenuity. From hollowing out the stump to creating a watertight structure with wire mesh and concrete, each step builds on the last. Adding plants and fish turns it into a living ecosystem, not just a decoration. But this project is about more than just one backyard. It sparked a wave of creativity in the community, showing that with a little imagination, anything is possible. As one expert puts it, there are no stalemates you can't solve with your inventiveness. This philosophy extends beyond landscaping. It's about seeing potential where others see problems. So next time you're looking at that eyesore in your yard, think twice. Could it be the start of something beautiful? With some creativity and elbow grease, you might just surprise yourself and inspire your neighbors in the process.